She's already conquered TV and music, but the wildly unfiltered Courtney Stodden is finally getting into the podcast game. And guys, this is the premiere episode, and we're so excited to bring it to you. Guys, this is Courtney Stodden. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good jam, Court.
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues. Courtney
Yes.
Stodden. Of course, you guys know this song. You know this voice. This is Courtney. Courtney, this is the first show.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Sorry about all of that crazy. What was that, like on and off? Like.
Well, for those viewing live, this is the joy of live TV. You guys got to see behind the curtain.
I mean, look at Mariah Carey. Look what happened to her.
I know.
Girl,
You know
she's
what?
a queen. It happens to queens,
It happens
baby.
to queens, and we rolled
Okay.
through it because we're
She
pros.
handled it.
We
Yeah.
bounce. We bounce.
Courtney, this is your debut episode. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling so good.
Good.
So it's called Illegally Blonde
I think this is Courtney Stodden.
because on my it says Illegally
Oh, uh-oh.
Blonde. I had a whole joke too.
Did you? Well, let's do the joke.
I had it all like set
What?
up.
Set
So
up
I
the
thought it
joke.
was gonna be called Illegally Blonde, and I was gonna say, "I'm so blonde, it's illegal." And then like you guys changed the title.
Well, you know, search engine
But it's on
optimization.
here. It's on my paper.
Well, how about
Another malfunction.
that's our subtitle. Courtney, this is Courtney Stodden, illegally blonde.
Legally blonde.
You guys.
Jeff, now you need to go blonde so that you match the full
I was gonna
panel.
say.
I
you
know. I think that's what's going on.
Next week you're bleaching your hair.
I did in high
happening.
school. I did in high
I'll
school.
do it for you. I'm a hairdresser too.
The problem is it comes out orange if you try to bleach my hair. I used to be a
No,
swimmer.
it's-
Bleach it.
That's
My
because
hair's
you don't do it
way
right.
darker than
See,
yours.
you know
I have
what?
black hair.
Yeah, I have black hair too.
Yeah.
Well, we can do it for an episode. How's that?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Guys, of course, you already know Courtney. That's why you're tuned in. Real quick, my name is Jeff. I'm a host and producer at this network as well, and I'm so excited to be here. Zach, let the fans know who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Zach Peter. I'm a writer, podcaster, pop culture junkie, and sometimes Courtney Stodden's long lost brother.
Oh, baby.
Only on the weekends.
Yeah.
I'm like the
Well, then
weird
why don't you
stepdad.
text me more then?
I always respond to your text
No,
messages.
hardly. I know, but then I was like, I thought we were gonna be like BFFs.
I'll
and
sext
then
you tonight.
I was
I'll
waiting.
sext
No,
you
I don't
tonight.
need to see your dick pic. I just want a little love. You
There's
know?
so much love right now.
So
Oh, your
much
I
hands
love
are
you.
cold. That means you're a
I
good
know.
person.
Because it's
Wait, what?
Chilly
Cold
in LA.
hands means good person.
Yeah, because I have cold hands all the time, and I'm a very good person.
That's
there we
absolutely.
go.
So, Courtney,
Soul sisters.
we're so excited about this podcast. Of course, it's here because Keven Undergaro, who's our CEO and founder, you guys know him as Maria Menounos, his husband. He has a podcast, brought you on. To this day, says that your appearance on the Tomorrow Show is one of his favorites that he's had on the show. Why? So he thinks you have this very unique point of view, which I totally agree with. Why are you excited to have a podcast here at the network?
I am just, at first, I want to say thank you, not only to Kevin and to Maria, but you, like everyone in AfterBuzz, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay? And like, I'm surrounded by so many amazing people here and hosts and like this growing young Hollywood, you know, phenomena. And I'm just like, oh my God, me? A show? I don't even know how to make pancakes. You know what I mean? Like, so bear with me. But I just want to say that first. Within last but not least, I feel like everybody is gonna get to know me so much more than they ever have before, and that's why I feel like I'm the most nervous in here. And so, you know, I had some weed, I had a little bit of Patron to try to chill because it's like I feel like I'm approaching this like I want to be so real with my supporters and listeners and, you know, people who are new to me, because I just don't want to go in with all of that crappy like, oh, I think she's this or that, and I'm so ready just to be honest. And so I'm numb here at AfterBuzz for you guys doing this crazy podcast, and I just want to thank you, my soul sister. Better text me more. And
Text
you,
you.
my soon-to-be blonde.
I know. We
Bam,
have
bam.
to. I used to be a swimmer, so we used to dye our hair, but mine would
Yeah?
always turn out
To
orange.
like help you swim faster?
No, because we would shave our whole body to swim faster. So the week
Sexy.
before, we would dye
Would you
it.
shave
What are your
your
hair-
like groin area too?
Everything, yeah.
Your
Everything.
butthole too?
Nah, we didn't do the buttholes. But
There's protection. There are cheeks to guide the butthole.
exactly. Anything can happen on the podcast.
And
Why
That
wouldn't
would
you
happen
shave
on
your
that.
butthole though? Why would you leave that one hanging?
Well,
It's
because
true.
it has the cheeks to cover it, so the skin will still.
The water
Water
through the
doesn't
water,
get into your
like a
butt.
You know
cheek.
what though? I didn't make
Water
sectionals.
doesn't get into your
My
butt.
senior year, if I would have only shaved my butthole, I might have made it to state. I should have thought about it. Courtney, if only you would have been coaching me.
You might have been. You
needs
know
to
what?
be your
First thing
stage
you gotta
mom.
wax your butthole, baby.
First things first. Wax.
Number one claim to fame: wax your butthole.
You know what? The truth is, though, Courtney,
Is
is
your
you
butthole
are.
waxed?
It's not.
Why
Not
not?
yet.
It probably not yet.
Why not? You look
I will
like you
wax
would
my
have a
butt.
waxed asshole.
This is what's happening next week.
Doesn't he look like
you're,
he would have?
You're gonna make pancakes. I'm gonna wax my butthole, and Jeff is gonna go blonde. There we go.
Oh, those
love
are
it.
some major milestones.
Goals. Clearly, we really have our shit
Yeah,
together on this
goals.
podcast. The thing is, though, Courtney, is you do have these gems of wisdom that no one else in the world has, because obviously the fans know you well, but you've said it on record before. You've kind of lived 3 different lives already. You know, the amount you've experienced in the short life you've lived here is more than most people experience in 3 lifetimes. So things like maybe shaving your butthole could have gotten you to state as a swimmer. That's one example of the knowledge that you possess that like no one else
I
has.
only started shaving my butthole probably 3 years ago.
And you're giving me crap for it?
I know.
Why did you start
Crap!
shaving?
Don't say crap and butthole in the same. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
Why did you start shaving your butthole, Courtney?
Why did I start shaving my butthole? Because I just thought, why am I having a hairy I mean, I'm not that hairy, but I'm just because I kind of put my camera down there a couple times.
Taking
And I was
Photos.
dissecting everything and looking and seeing what other people see.
It's good.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
good to know what your
And
body looks
empathetic.
I'm
like.
trying to have some self-love, and why not
Absolutely.
love
You
my
have to love
pussy?
all your parts.
But I didn't really love the hairy asshole, so I was like, I'm just gonna shave that. And so, now I'm squeaky, squeak,
Bear.
squeak.
I love it. Well, what we'll be doing on this show, guys, is of course getting Courtney's unfiltered
waxed.
take on getting
Getting
waxed,
waxed.
getting bleached, making pancakes.
Oh, we should bleach your butthole too while we're down
Yeah,
there.
we can bleach your hair and your asshole
I'll
at the
do
same
it. I don't know
time.
if I'm
That's
ready
your
to do
job.
that.
You bleach his butt.
Right.
I don't know if I'll do that on camera. I'm not ready for
my
that
God.
phase of my career yet, but maybe off camera we can do that. But we're gonna be talking about the news, talking about what's going on, and just getting Courtney's incredibly unique worldview. There's no matter how you feel about Courtney Stodden, no one else thinks like you think.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Can you think of anyone else who has the similar point of view to you?
My amazing guy right here.
Nice. I love it.
He is sitting right here and he's fabulous, but I feel like you're the only person. I'm talking to a ghost. I feel like you're the only person. But other than him, I think I can connect with a lot of people. So on, a huge spectrum, I'm very artistic.
Yeah.
I'm very deep, and that's kind of the side of me that isn't in the public. I haven't put that in the public because I feel like I would lose my entirety if I put everything out there for everyone to just judge and
Absolutely.
go to town on. So I keep my sanity, in a safe lock, over here.
No, your candor is so raw that it humanizes you, and I think that's what I love about chatting with you on a podcast in this form.
Definitely.
Totally unfiltered.
So I get why you were saying you're a little nervous for this format, because if you've been hiding things, and
There's
you've
no
been
bullshit.
on this format, it's the real
There's
Courtney.
no bullshit.
This is Courtney Stodden.
Yeah,
This is
it
Courtney
is.
Stodden.
This is me. So.
Well, the big news story that, of course, dropped yesterday, we're going to talk a lot about pop culture on this podcast, because you guys know Courtney is at the epicenter of pop culture, especially here in Hollywood. But Bryan Singer, who's a A-list director, most recently just directed Bohemian Rhapsody, which won the Golden Globe for Best Picture.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, it was great.
I loved this movie.
Not for Zach.
You didn't like this movie.
Well, I didn't watch the movie. There was too much hype about it, and when there's too much hype about a movie,
That's
I'm
why
not.
I didn't go
He's
see
too
A
cool.
Star
avoid
Is
it.
Born. I did not go see A
I
Star
haven't
Is
seen that
Born.
one either.
It's
Girl,
good.
Give me some for that one. No, I love Lady Gaga. I just felt it's too much hype and it's cheese at the end of the day
Yeah.
for me. So
It
it's
is kinda cheesy.
But now I kind of want to go see it because the hype has died down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Star is Born. But for Bohemian Rhapsody, I was just I got a text from someone and they're like, you need to go see this movie. It reminds me of you.
No, I can see that.
okay.
And I
Accurate.
was like, what the fuck?
That's a huge compliment, though.
I was like, what the hell? Because Doug, my ex, used to listen to Queen all the time. And I was like, this, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, when you're like, oh, this is stupid. The
Yeah.
music's so stupid. Turn on, Lady Gaga. At that point. But I was like, fine, fuck. I'm a narcissist. I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's me. I'll go see it.
Yeah.
So I went to see it. I was crying.
Well, it's a great
I
film.
was fucking crying, and I'm a Queen fan.
It's a great movie. And Bryan Singer is a very talented director. He also directed X-Men. He's among the A-list of Hollywood's directors. But for the last 2 decades, there's been rumors swirling about regarding his interest in young boys sexually. And, you know, amidst all the Me Too news breaking and, you know, a huge line of Hollywood predators being taken down, finally a huge expose broke in The Atlantic. After having read through it, I would recommend you guys read it as well if you're interested. I'd say it's as bad, maybe worse than anything we've read for anyone else.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about all of this, the big difference is that, you know, rather than young Hollywood starlets, it's all young boys, primarily under the age of 18. And right now, Bryan Singer has a number of projects in the works. He's signed deals with studios, and it doesn't seem like there's nearly as much punishment for him as there have been for other A-listers in Hollywood. Why do you guys think this is?
I think part of it has to do, it's media fatigue. You know, we went through so much of it with Harvey Weinstein, and it was hot for a minute. And like, you know, now that storyline has been retired, unfortunately. Like, that's how Hollywood works. We work in headlines, we work in clickbait. And I also don't think that this is because it's not a man being a predator towards a woman. You know, it's 2 men. And I think, unfortunately, in today's age, there's still a big minority of our country that doesn't quite, that they correlate, you know, homosexuality with perversion. And so to them, you know, this just kind of makes sense in that narrative, and it's nothing they really want to give attention to, unfortunately.
I agree. I just feel like, I don't know. I think, like, it was like, you know, do you think women are getting more attention than men, right? I think, like, that's the majority of people and the question. I feel like potentially that is something that is going on, which is sad.
Yeah.
Because women are just as sexually attractive as men.
Yeah.
And then the pedophilia is both genders.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the male, you know, that it's just slighted a little bit.
Yeah.
And as a person who has been, who is a survivor of sexual assault, I felt really let down by the system and on my end. So it's like, you know, whatever. But I do think that it is more geared towards the pussy.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's easier for people. It's easier for people to understand a woman as a victim than it is to understand a guy. Unfortunately, we're still conditioned to believe that men are supposed to be tough, and if we go through, you know, sexual assault, that's embarrassing and it's not something comfortable to discuss.
Yeah.
You are Superman, right? Every man is like hard as a pistol, and you're fucking like.
I mean, 80% of the day he is.
And it's so fucked up. But it's, oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fuck me.
Zach
Fuck
Bain.
me right now.
You know what's interesting though is I think like similarly, Courtney.
I did not fart. That was my Christian Louboutin hitting the stool.
What's so interesting about this though is. So we're saying that these stories of these young boys aren't as credible because, you know, they're not these innocent women. Do you think in a similar way, Courtney, because the media had already painted you as sort of this sexy, sexual...
Minor.
Yeah. Do you think think your story was also discredited because you were already this, you know, you weren't this innocent victim? Do you think your Me Too story was taken with credibility, or do you think people tried to discredit it because you were already sort of this sexy, you know...
Are you saying, you know, blame this, like, slut shame? Are you saying slut shaming?
Do you feel like you got that from the media when you...
Slut shamed? I think that I can get that from any bracket, any source, right? Whether that's people in freaking churches or people over, you know, whatever. Like, people are going to judge in any bracket of life. So I don't fucking care. I don't know. I just know what happened. And, you know, maybe that is one of the sources of my depression, you know, my ups and downs. That I want to get to, by the way, because I've had a lot of highs and lows this week.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wanted that to be a lot of the podcast, is talking about mental health. But for me, yeah, sexual assault is linked to mental health completely. And then when it's ignored by the court or legal or whatever, I mean, that is just like a double whammy.
Yeah.
I mean, that fucking hurts.
And it wasn't until recently that we were even comfortable having a conversation about sexual assault and like this being a real issue and victims actually having having, issues with depression and anxiety and PTSD after the fact. Like, this is still relatively new. Like, for the longest time, we did slut shame and we did, blame the victim. And
we still
life
do.
wasn't SVU, Law and Order, and Mariska Hargitay wasn't coming to save every victim.
It's true. Though I do love Mariska Hargitay.
only
Jane
TV.
Mansfield is like, woo!
Speaking of your week, Courtney, I feel like, normally the top will kind of dive in. How's your week been? What's been going on?
I'm not going to spill too many crazies.
Spill it.
But, have you guys, okay, you get highs and lows, right? I'm a very manic person, so I'm very up and then I'm very down. And I went into my psychiatrist and my psychologist, and he's like, you aren't bipolar. I don't know why you think you're bipolar. I'm just like, but I'm because up and down and up and down. And I realize it's because, I'm smoking a joint and then I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, my mood, and I'm like, what am I so depressed about in life?
So
Do you
you're
ever think about that
unpacking that?
stuff? Like, do you ever think about, like, what are you depressed? Like, is there, like, two Zachs?
I think there are like 8 Zachs. It depends on the day. But no, I think mental health is also such a new territory for us to even be discussing, that we're still kind of figuring out, is it biological and physical and the chemistry in our body, or is it because of the substances that we're taking and is that affecting us? Or is it just emotional and mental, or are we making it up for attention? These are all
Right.
different things that we're still trying to figure out within mental health. I mean, what do you feel like you relate to the most?
I don't know. I just think that I just linked it because of the sexual assault, and the sexual abuse victims. I mean, you can struggle with so many PTSD and you're not even
Absolutely.
realizing that it's linking to the sexual assault. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Well, if you go back and read this article, that's a huge kind of theme throughout the whole thing, is all these boys, who are now have grown up
Aftermath.
into men, and the aftermath of what
Oh
they've
God,
seen.
they're dealing with so much PTSD.
I think in that stuff, it's quiet and it's slow, but I think the
Yeah.
effect that sexual abuse can have in these moments is so much greater than people give it credit for.
Yes, definitely.
And
What
so
do you
many people deal with it on a regular basis, and that's not even being addressed yet. Like, we're just addressing the fact that, sexual assault happened, and it's going to take long for Hollywood to even get on board with, dealing with the aftermath and addressing,
Yeah.
especially so many people in Hollywood that have to face that.
Right. It's just interesting. I sort of expected more coverage on this. I expected a bigger backlash on this, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen...
I really didn't even hear about it.
I know. And
I didn't even hear about
And
it.
it came out yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, this was, I think, the Atlantic's attempt, whatever their intentions are, this was their attempt to, break one of the biggest news stories of 2019, and
Yeah.
we haven't heard much.
Ugh, that's really sad.
It's sad, and Zach,
It's just sad.
I'm especially interested, you said you feel like people already have this view that homosexuality is this perversion, and I feel
Do you
like...
think they still have that?
Yeah, go
There's
to
a
the
ton of
Midwest.
In
homophobia.
Hollywood, though?
No, I mean, a little bit in Hollywood. There's still a good like
It's just a
15%
bracket
of people that
right?
are yeah.
So they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And it might be
much.
subconscious,
Yeah.
it's probably
No, I
subconscious
think it is.
homophobia.
It's been so, deeply embedded into our culture and our society for so long that, you come to West Hollywood and yes, there's this, there's a rainbow on every block, but there's,
on the sidewalk. Walk. You may walk now
yeah,
safely
you have a
over
rainbow
this gay
penis
rainbow.
in the window, but you don't. It's still for the rest of the world, and even for some parts of Los Angeles. I've met very many people in Los Angeles that still are very uncomfortable with
Oh
it.
God, fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't have any patience. Like I just don't
There's not
have
enough
any.
time.
I have no patience with people who are just fucking out of their mind
Yeah.
and don't see equality as equality. Especially when you're,
Yeah.
Christians going to church and saying, "Oh, thou shalt not judge," and
Right.
you turn around and you see me coming into church. Oh, look at that whore! Throw Jesus juice on her. Fuck you.
Jesus juice.
I mean, what the hell? I'm
I mean,
just
if it's
over it.
wine, just like be ready to
Do
drink
you know
it.
I took like 2 shots of Jesus wine at a Catholic church?
They
Mark
water it
Wahlberg
down
was
though.
there too. Mark
nice.
Wahlberg was there. He was probably there for the wine too.
Nothing wrong with that.
They water
It
it,
was like
down
extra
in church.
heavy wine in Beverly Hills. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Jesus was
It's
heavy.
because everyone's hungover.
It was lit.
The celebrities need to hair the dog because they're hungover from the night before.
Right?
Well, we can move on to something a little lighter now if you guys want.
Yeah.
I've been very interested. Fox released a new show called The Masked Singer.
Yes.
And the reason we're covering it is because it's been the biggest reality comp debut since American Idol.
Blown
Millions
up.
and millions of people are watching the show. Twitter's all over it. We're going to watch a clip right now and get your thoughts, Courtney. For those listening on the podcast, the voice you're hearing is sung by a terrifying giant bunny with red piercing eyes.
Oh my gosh.
guided by a beating heart.
That's amazing.
I can tell where the journey would
Is that Joel McHale?
That's Joel McHale. He was a guest.
It was me,
He
you
was a guest
guys. It
host.
was me.
It was you?
It was me. I
You're
had
the
you all
bunny?
fooled.
You'd actually be great for this show.
I want to
think.
be on this
Would
show
you want
so
to do
bad.
it?
Are you kidding?
Yeah?
Are you one of
I
the
would do
celebrities
anything
on the
to be on
show?
this show.
Are you secretly one of the celebrities on this show?
No.
And we'll find out when we
I'm
unmask
not,
you.
but I would.
Okay, does anyone else watch this and think it's terrifying?
I mean, it's like
I think it's really cool.
It's American Idol on acid.
Yes.
But
Huh?
there's something like endearing about it that's actually somewhat enjoyable.
I actually think I have that sleep nighty.
I think it's so scary.
Do you know the ones you get from Amazon Prime? I have one.
So the reason I wanted to bring this up is because everyone's watching this show, and I think this is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. I'm wondering if-
Why?
just like I think I have a
You
thing
need to
about
dye your hair
furries.
blonde. Blondes
I
have
know.
more fun.
But maybe I'm a
I
wet
think
mop.
he's
do
just
have more
not
fun.
being fun
I'm a wet
enough.
mop. Maybe I'm a wet mop.
A wet mom?
A wet.
Wet mop. Stepdad vibes. It's not.
Oh my god, I thought he said a wet mom. I was like, Milfy.
No,
You know.
Oh my
Snuffy.
god.
So you're into this show, Courtney, at least from what you've seen.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want to be on it.
Why do you think? Why do you think this show has captured America's hearts?
I think probably. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of What's Your Line. I don't.
Whose line is it
whose
anyway?
line is it anyway? Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
What's
whose
your-
line it is?
What's Your Line was way back in the 50s, baby.
Oh.
I'm taking you far back.
Catch me
okay?
up.
Yeah.
There's
okay. I'm
those
like
daddy
Wikipedia. Okay. Okay. No. It's What's Your Line. It was way back in the 50s.
Like cocaine?
What? Probably before. Who cares? But the point is they would mask and celebrities would come on and they would talk in different kind of talk like this to try to throw the people off the panel. So it kind of and it was like a competition show. Google it, you guys.
I'm
What's
gonna
your
watch
line?
it. That's our homework for next week.
Jeez,
Yes.
I thought you'd be up to date.
I know. Look at
Well,
me.
this show is really popular in Korea, and that's why they brought it over to the United States, because when something's successful internationally, we like to steal ideas and rip people off. That's
Claim
the
it's ours.
American dream.
Yep.
And I thought at first when I first heard of the show, and look, I know Jenny McCarthy. I've worked with her for many, many years, so I was excited
said
for
no
her.
to her show.
And I
Did you?
watched.
Yeah.
You would love her. She's a really
I was
great
just
person
being
to chat
so
with.
bullied, like on all these different shows
Yeah.
that was going on, Bethany Frankel,
Right.
and I just like canceled, and I was just like, oh no. But I love Jenny McCarthy,
Yeah.
and I just feel like she
She's
hates
great.
me.
No, she does not hate you.
So shout out, Jenny, if you don't hate me, please tell me. 'cause
Why do you
I
think
thought-
Jenny
Well,
hates
don't
you?
cancel on her show.
No, I canceled because there was like some like rumor gossip shit about like how she was like, I don't know, like she didn't like me or something, and I was so paranoid about being set up for shows all the time.
Right.
Anna Nicole back in the day, you know what was set up. I
Right.
mean, on Howard Stern, they set her up. He put a scale under the floor and made fun of her weight. You know, and I haven't been that ridiculed, but I've been pretty ridiculed in my own right. And
Right.
so I would just like, but I love Jenny, so I would love to know if she hates me or not. I don't know. I just heard it through the grapevine. I'm not going to spill all that, but I heard that. I heard it.
No, you would actually really enjoy going on her show. It's a lot of fun. But I think watching the previews, I don't think this is a show I would have initially watched because it looks so crazy and outlandish. But because I did want to support her, I tuned in, and I actually kind of liked it. You know, American Idol's a little boring.
Yeah.
I can't get into The Voice. Like the singing competition shows are just so retired that like they had to do something to spice things up. And I find so many people. I was literally walking down the street the other day and I saw these two young girls that were talking about the show, and it was not a demographic that I even expected, but I think it's really resonating with so many different audiences.
It's definitely a hit. I just
Is it like the new America's Got Talent?
kind
Is
of?
that
I mean,
sort of.
what it
it's
is?
crushing in the
It's
ratings.
building that momentum. Yeah, they're already,
Yeah.
I think, ready to sign for a second season because it's
Wow.
doing
We're
so
gonna get
well.
Courtney on.
I think
There you go, Courtney.
I think Nick Cannon is so hot.
He's great on the
He's
show.
single.
He's
Is
a
he-
good
isn't he
host.
single?
Cute.
Yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, he's post Mariah.
Post Mariah.
I think he's so cute.
See, you and Mariah just have so much in common now.
Yeah,
God.
absolutely. Well, I'll be interested to see what happens with the show. Oh man, it looks like we're getting close to wrap. Let's real quick talk about one more story.
Yes.
Kate Hudson's brand new daughter. They're raising her as genderless.
Cool.
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 Yeah.
Totally. I always said if I had a kid, I would seriously hang a pair of jeans with like, ripped up kind of chains on one side, and then I would put the little tutu and glitter, and I would just go pick one.
And let them.
Yeah, why not?
I love it.
I mean, I don't know.
So at what age, because at a certain point, do you think it's the kid? Like, how does, logistically?
I mean, we are in a society where we are so conditioned to like traditional gender roles. So if she's trying to eliminate like that and give her her daughter a little more freedom, I get that. But I mean, we still, as men and women, have biological, traits that we naturally are, accustomed to. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's more of like as you get older, it's tough to kind of have your individuality because we're still in a culture, in a society where, boys wear pants and girls wear dresses.
How would you raise your child then?
I would allow my child to express their own individuality.
But would you, like, when the baby goes, whoop, here you go, you put it in, like, little, like, suit or something? Or would you put it in a tutu or a, gender-friendly outfit?
I mean, I guess I would probably start in a gender-friendly outfit just because, again, that's what we're conditioned to do and understand and be okay with. But I think if the child gets older and starts to identify a personality of his or her own, then, I would fully support that.
What do you think of, I was so into, this stuff about, these moms raising these children, and then they're, 8 years old. I want to cut off my wee-wee. Mm-hmm. And the mom's like, okay, well, we got to start the hormone treatments before their puberty. What do you guys think of that?
It's very early, and I don't know if at that age.
What would you do if your kid was like, "Hey, I want to grow a penis"? Well,
I think that's a little too young to be doing any type of surgery, and there's obviously some emotional.
Right?
Well, I mean, even then, it's affecting their body in different ways, and their body hasn't even fully developed. Like it's not until you're a teenager that hormones start to kind of come into play. I think you need to
go through puberty before you start making any decisions.
Yeah, I
agree.
And
I also feel when I look at myself and. Your point of view would be so interesting on this. We can talk about it next week, but I feel like I still don't have a fully formed idea of who I am, and I feel like if I was,
I don't think anybody does, baby.
Right. That's
Seriously,
true. Nobody does.
We're all lost clowns.
But to think about being 12, I'm glad my parents stepped in to sort of help be my decision makers until I was 18. I was glad. I'm glad I had parental guidance. And
you are so lucky.
I know I am, and not everyone's that lucky. So
I raised my mother. No, I'm kidding.
But it's true. I don't know. I
love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Even though we're not really talking right now. We'll talk about that next week, too.
Yeah, let's get
daddy
into family
issues.
stuff.
I want to get into daddy issues.
We're going to talk about family next week and what good parenting is and how long parents... That'll be our next week
That's a great
topic.
one. Hopefully you'll be blonde then.
Yeah, maybe I'll be blonde by
then.
Can you
work on him?
I think my wife would love that.
I'm doing a podcast,
so cute.
I stalked your Instagram.
Yeah.
Your wife is so cute.
She's pretty great.
I was like, I didn't know she was so hot.
Well, I agree. She's the best.
You should go around and be like, hey, my hot wife.
I do,
You should,
We're both in the Midwest, so I think
you're a little shy about it.
A little shy. Well, it depends on the context.
Yeehaw.
Maybe not when we're alone, but when we're in public, maybe. Anyway, guys, we'll get into family issues next week. We'll get into daddy issues and talk about how long parents should parent. I feel like that's a really interesting conversation to have.
Shit.
Until then, guys, my name is Jeff. Until death. You can find me online at Jeffrey C. Graham.
Hi, guys. I'm Zach Peter. You can find me at Just Plain Zach all over the internet.
And I am Courtney Stodden. You can find me on Instagram, Courtney A. Stodden, and Twitter, Courtney Stodden. And I have a new album coming out. Stay tuned, babies. I love you.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Any final thoughts, Courtney, before we make our way out?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah.
I think this show is going to be so fucking rad.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Should we go out on a live your damn life? Do we think?
Fine, yeah, baby.
Let's do it.
Ready? 1,
This camera.
2, 3.
Live your damn life.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.